or less, then you don't need a visa. You just need an entry declaration form. Bro, I have to walk from 1 to 30. Instantly goes to his partner that was beside him and starts speaking Chinese to him. You just gonna have to go back to America. Guys, I am in Guangzhou, China, but I almost got stuck here. Let's get straight into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel BriFre. For those of you that are new here, my name is Brianna. I am a 23-year-old medical laboratory scientist, CEO and founder of Alcoya Industries and the Girls with Knowledge Book Club and Woman of God. And on this channel, I do everything that I want to do in hopes of inspiring y'all to do the same. And I am in Guangzhou because I graduated 2 days ago and I wanted to come to China to look at to find manufacturers and to also buy inventory for my company launch, Alcoya. Now, this was also a graduation gift to myself because I just graduated. I went through a tumultuous journey of getting my bachelor's degree in psychology. I had the idea to go on my first solo trip and I chose China, a 26-hour flight time away from my home because I wanted to, I could, and I felt like this was a good step towards going into entrepreneurship. So everything started off on a kind of rocky start. So the way my flight was supposed to go, I was supposed to go from Boston to Dallas, Dallas to Shanghai, Shanghai to Guangzhou. Okay? Boom, 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 boom. So as soon as I got to Boston, I went to self-check-in and I went to scan my passport and to get my boarding passes. And they told me, well, you need your visa. And I'm like, girl, I don't have a visa. They said that the China embassy said that if you come 10 days or less, then you don't need a visa. You just need an entry declaration form. So the guy sent me to the front desk. I went to the front desk and she basically told me the same thing. And she was like, hey, but you can fill out the entry declaration form and you should be all set. That's what she told me. So I filled out the entry declaration form. I got my QR code and I was going into China. So going from Boston to Dallas, the flight was kind of jam-packed, but it was a pretty easy flight. I was really sleepy because I graduated the day before and I packed my bags that night and I had a flight at 6 a.m. leaving from Boston to Dallas. All right, y'all, so I am in Dallas, Texas, on my way to my gate. I went from Boston to Dallas and that flight was like, it was hella tight, y'all. Like it was tight and it was packed, that flight was packed. But you know, I slept majority of the flight because I was tired. I literally graduated yesterday, y'all. And it's still surreal to me. Like I'm really graduating. Like I have a bachelor's now in psychology. That's crazy. But I just got off at Terminal A. I have an hour, a little over an hour to get to the D terminal. So I'm trying to hustle and bustle and get to freaking Terminal D. Excuse me, do you have to go further down to get to D? Because it says all C and E.
What is it for B?
D as in dog.
B and D is that one right there on the right after the Grand Hyatt. It'll go on, it says B right there.
Right here? Okay, thank you. All right, y'all, this is my gate. After it says, it was saying A1 to A21, but right here it says all B and D gates, so.
Do not block the door. Please hold on. This train is departing.
Bro, I have to walk from 1 to 30. What the heck? Never mind, it starts at 34. All right, guys, I made it to my flight. I am on the plane to Shanghai. Bro, I'm still like sweating and flushed from trying to get to this gate. Like, obviously I was here in time. Like, they wasn't even boarding when I made it here. And they boarded really quickly. This plane is really big. Luckily, I have a window seat, and it's not too bad. They gave us pillows and everything it was like sitting on the seat when I got here, and I really enjoyed that. Y'all, I also didn't plan anything really for this trip. I mean, I've looked up the excursions and stuff like that and done like my TikTok background check, but outside of that, y'all, we just gonna be winging it. And I feel like I have the most fun whenever I take a trip when I just wing it and I don't plan every single thing out. So I have like one big thing that I want to see, and then everything else I just go with the flow. So we're gonna discover what we discover over there. I wanted to get my eyes microbladed, but the tint and lamination that I had done for my graduation is still on. So we'll see if they can do something about that. But y'all, I am so excited. Can't wait to get to my destination. All right. 16 hours to go, y'all. Let's see. This one has way more leg room, by the way, so I can stretch out. So that's all I really care about. I got my neck pillow up. My hair is up. Let's see how this goes, guys. Bye. Alright guys, I took a nice, sorry for the lighting y'all, I have this overhead light on, but I took a nice little nap that after we ate. Oh, the lighting is fun. Sorry. Alright y'all, I took a nice little nap after we ate. I feel pretty good now. I got up, I went to the restroom, got to do a little bit of walking, and now I'm reading R.F. Kuang's Babel. I took the blanket out. I'm pretty comfortable. Like, this has a lot more room than the previous flight. Yeah, it took me forever to figure out how to turn this light on. I was hitting the light, but the whole time there was a remote right here with a light symbol right there. I was poking and prodding at the freaking light. But guys, I feel good. I took a nice nap. It's about 6 hours left in the flight, so we're like halfway through. Alright, I'm gonna get some reading in, and I'll see y'all a little bit later. Alright guys, so local time is 2 p.m. I slept extremely good. I slept majority of this flight. I read about 4 chapters. I'm on like the second book of the book I'm reading, and they just came around and served us breakfast. We had the choice between eggs or noodles. I ended up choosing the noodles, but I know I'm not gonna like because too many vegetables in it. I'm gonna just eat when I get to the gate. But this is some fruit they gave us. Yeah. This flight was really pleasant. It was really nice. I slept so good, y'all. I feel really refreshed. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I actually land. They started turning on the lights, and it's brightening up in here. So we'll see when we get there. Alright guys, I'll see you guys when I get to Shanghai. All of the drama started when I landed in Shanghai. So I got off of the plane. I went to the self-check kiosk where you had to scan your passport, and you also had to scan your fingerprints. And then after that, you were told to show your entry to like a guard that was standing by the, once you finished doing it, there was a guard standing there. You had to show your entry declaration form, QR code. After that, I went to go into customs. Okay. This is where the drama starts, honey, because I get to the guard, and he was like, show me your passport, show me your entry form, do you have your visa? I was like, no, I don't have my visa, I'm only staying for 10 days. He was like, okay. So I show him my passport. He was like, so where is your departure? Like, how are you getting back home to America? I said, okay, I'm going Guangzhou, Beijing, and then I'm going back to America. He was like, he just paused, and he was like, what? I'm like, I'm going from Guangzhou to Beijing back to America. What's going on? He instantly goes to his partner that was beside him and starts speaking Chinese to him. What's going on? Like, what? Then he goes and he calls this other guy. I'm assuming this is the manager. He had on like a suit, and he comes up, and I hear him talking in Chinese, basically explaining to him the whole situation, because I was definitely on my phone with Google Translate, having him translate the whole situation. So they were talking in Chinese. It was basically saying like, oh, she can't do that, da da da. So the man comes to me and he was like, do you have your passport? I hand the man my passport. We go to this other desk with this young lady, and he gives the lady the passport and explains to her the situation. They're talking in Chinese. She like shakes her head, and she still has my passport. And he was like, I need you to come over here. I'm like, but she has my passport. Like, what's going on? I need my passport. But why she got my passport? He was like, okay, we're gonna give you a passport. We just have to talk over here. I'm like, okay, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? Because I need to know who this is and why she got my passport, and y'all not give me my passport, because that's my passport. So we get to the side. It was me and another guy that was coming. He was Mexican. But he lives in Mexico, but he has a visa to stay in America. So basically he lives in America. He came from Austin, Texas. I came from Dallas to Shanghai. So we're standing there and he's basically like, okay, guys, you cannot leave from China and go directly to US if you don't have a visa and you're staying for less than 10 days. You need a connecting flight. You need to go from the US, you need to go from China to another country, then back to US, and wherever country you pick is your choice, but you need to go to another country. And we was like, wait, what? Like, I'm like, what you talking about? Like, I just spent $2,000 to get out here and then some. What you mean? Luckily I have extra change, but I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what's our other options? What's going on? Because he wasn't giving us no options. He was like, well, you just gonna have to go back to America. I'm like, what? I instantly start crying and calling my mama. Because what is you talking about? Go back to America. Like, what do you mean? And he was, not only do we need to go back to America, but he was saying that we need to book a flight from Shanghai to get back to America. I was like, wait, what? And then he was like, and then we have to figure something out because you may not be able to do that because, like I said, you can't go from China straight back to America. We're like, what? And this man, like, I'm not gonna lie, he was explaining it to us, but he just looked kind of like, what do you want me to type? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, that's what he was giving. And honestly, if I was in his shoes, I'd have been the same way, girl, because it's the law. Like, what do you want me to do? And mind you, this was passed, he said this new one was passed 8 days ago. So this is brand new. I booked all this stuff months ago, child. Months ago. So I'm like, OMG, what is going on? What I'm gonna do? So me and the guy, we're just looking at each other like, this is crazy. Like, what? Like I said, what are our options? Like, cause I'm not like, what? I already paid my money, my good coin. We landed in Shanghai at 3 p.m. My next flight was leaving at 6:20 p.m. Okay, by this point, we're 2 hours into this ordeal. Okay, because it took forever just to get through the customs line. Okay, so and this airport is enormous. The Shanghai airport is enormous. It's like 100 and something gates. 100 and something gates. So I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? So we're sitting there and I'm like, how about this? Okay, my layover going home is in Beijing. What if I get a flight from Beijing to Japan and then I figure out how to get from Japan to the US? You know what I'm saying? Because all I have to do is show you proof that I'm going to Japan, not straight to the US, because apparently that's illegal. So he was like, that's fine, you can do that. I'm like, fine. And here's another thing, guys. If you're coming to China, you need to make sure that you get an eSIM on your card. I got mine through Alipay. Alipay is their app that they use for everything here. You can pay for things here. You can put on your US cards and Alipay will pay for it in Chinese coin. You can get your Ubers, they call it Didi, through that app. Everything you need, excursions and everything is all through the app, and it's in China dollars. So you're not gonna get overcharged with like US dollars paying it off rip. So I got eSIM while I was in America for China, on top of calling my service provider, which is Cricket, and I told Cricket to add international. They call it Cricket Passport. And this was how I was able to have internet and calling while I was there. Now the guy to the side, he did not do that. He had text now and he had already run out of credits. So he was like, so I'm like, I'm gonna book my flight through Expedia. He was like, what are you booking it through? I said Expedia. He was like, can you buy the flight for me? I'm like, buy. And I was like, you got your card? Like, girl, what? Earth? Like, no, I put my card. I put my card on your account. I was like, okay. So I booked my flight going to Japan and probably have like a day there, because from what I booked, I had like an extra day in Japan, which really works in my favor. I'm not mad about that. And then go to the US. So I booked my flight. He books his flight. We share contact info because it's gonna send it to my account for his gate information and stuff like that. And we get back in line. We fill out the entry declaration form, and I'm back on my flight going to Guangzhou. Now, this is how I knew. At this point, I really was gonna give up because it was 3 hours later and I knew my flight was at 6:20. This is how I knew after getting through customs that this was made for me. When I went to go look for my flight, okay, and to see what gate it was on, it was delayed by 2 hours, guys. It was delayed by 2 hours. How rare is that? So I'm booking it. And I'm trying to find where my gate is. The guy that actually helped put us to the side and told us that it's illegal, we need to figure something out, he was really remorseful. He was helping us get to our gates and everything. He was helping us quickly get there. He helped me to get to my gate. He showed me, point me in the right direction on where I needed to go. I had to go upstairs to Terminal 2. Once I got up there, it was like huge and enormous. Like it was so big up there. Like it was big banners that was hanging up that went from like A to I think like T. And I'm thinking because the phone said that my terminal was H. So I went to the banner that said H, but apparently that was the wrong one. Because I went up to the desk lady and she told me you actually need to go to B. So I have to run down this big hall. This had to be half a mile to get to that, just to get to B, from H to B. I get to B and I'm like, there's a line, right? At this point, it's like 6:30, okay? And my flight is leaving at 7:50. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get to this flight. So I'm not gonna make it. I'm looking around trying to see what can I do. And I see that China they have a line. These people think of everything. They have a line specifically for people that's running late, okay? So I get over into this line. There was only 3 people in front of me. I was not checking any bags because one thing about me, if I'm solo and I'm going international, I don't wanna check no bags, especially if I got a lot of layovers. I don't even wanna play with my luggage like that. So I just have my duffel bag, my book bag, and my purse. So I was able to take that on without checking anything. So I get through there and then after I get through there and I check into my flight and I get my boarding pass, I have to go over to the side and I have to go to the side and get into TSA again. So I had to get into another line. Luckily, the guy, he accidentally put me in priority. This is how I know. This is meant for me. I get to the line, I get through TSA. Once I get through TSA, I get stopped again. They tell me that I had a power bank that's going off, right? I bought a power bank. They sent it to me and it had the symbol CCC for made in China. They told me that I couldn't have it because it was made in China. That's illegal. I can't have it. I'm like, what, girl, take the power bank. It don't even matter. I said, that's fine. Take the power bank and my stuff. They give me my stuff. I throw my butt back on and I'm dashing to my gate. Once I get there, I am at like gate C160 or C something, right? I'm at gate C something at this point. And I see 2 minutes later that a train is coming to take you directly to H. Thank God, express. So I was there just in time. I finally make it to my gate and it is right on time. Like I have like probably like 15, 20 minutes to spare and I get there right on time because they were still late getting us onto the plane. So I finally make it and now I am in Guangzhou. All right, y'all, by the grace of God, I am in the Uber, or they call it Didi here. And I had to get help at the airport to put it in and everything because I didn't have it. When you come out here, bro, you got to make sure that you have international on your phone with your phone company. You add it on and you have an eSIM, a China eSIM, because, girl, my leave out, I didn't even have time to because I literally booked this the day after. I was on vacation the day after my graduation, y'all, so I didn't have time to like put braids in my head, so I still have my leave out. But y'all, I am in the Uber. This is the app. It's called Didi. I'm 30 minutes away from my hotel and it only costs $12. So they have an app called Alipay, and in the app you can get everything. Like you do your Uber there, you can add your American cards in there and it transfers it to Chinese currency, and it's like a little, I think like 2-3% fee for every purchase you make here. So just keep that in mind, similar to how it was in St. Martin. Yeah, but guys, I am here by the grace of God, y'all. This was, once I landed in China, it's just like all hell broke loose, but I made it. I'll see y'all when I get into the hotel. Yo, y'all, I am on the 23rd floor. Guys, they have a golf simulator room. a function room, whatever that means, a swimming pool. I'm definitely gonna be seeing that. A lounge, VIP room, sauna, steam room. I'm not gonna be using that because I feel like they're dirty, but a playroom, business center. I'm definitely gonna be checking this out, y'all. Guys, it was crazy, okay? But I am blessed and highly favored. When I got to my room finally, which was 30 minutes away from my airport, it wasn't that bad. And it only cost me $12 to get here from the airport, guys. Once I finally got to my room, I'm on the phone with Expedia because at this point it was 11 p.m. here, but it's 11 a.m. back in the States. So I was still within the hours to call Expedia. I called them and they tell me, okay, you can't cancel half a flight, because I wanted to cancel the part of my flight that was Beijing to US, not the part that was Guangzhou to Beijing. And they said, well, you can't cancel half of a flight. So I basically just had to take my L on that one, right? As long as I get to Beijing. And I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. Just cancel the one that's going from that I just booked earlier for the 21st going from Beijing to Japan. I was able to cancel that because literally it's less than 24 hours that I did book the flight. So they were able to cancel that for me. I did change it from the 21st to the 22nd, and now I have an additional day in Japan. So to sum it all up, guys, all right, here's what you need to know if you are going to China, okay? And don't make the mistakes I did. Always check to make sure that the laws change every few minutes. They change all the time. So you constantly need to check to make sure that you are still in compliance with that country before you come here, okay? Luckily, they were accommodating. You know what I'm saying? They did allow me to book a flight. They didn't detain me or anything, but anything can happen. You're in another country, you're not home. You know, don't do that. Number two, always have extra money with you, because if I did not have the money to buy that flight to Japan, I don't know what I would have done, because I would have had to buy another flight to get back to America, and that would have been a whole other issue because they would still give me an issue about doing that. So always make sure that you have the money with you before you go outside of the country that is extremely important. I don't know what I would have done if I did not have the money to pay for this extra flight, to be honest. I just would start crying and figuring something out, like, oh my gosh, like, what? Who's in power? Who I need to talk to? Like, what's going on? Okay. Number three, okay. Always have faith and trust in God, because guys, I really feel like I was supposed to be here. Like, I was supposed to come to Japan, because even at my graduation, the girl that was sitting next to me, we started talking, and she was from Guangzhou. She was the one that told me, even though I got international on my phone, I still need to get a Chinese eSIM. I may not be able to make calls and stuff, but some things are blocked. Like, they don't have Google. Google is illegal here. So it's like Google.hk, like the Hong Kong, I guess, version of Google. So I don't know, but I have, and then when I first landed, I was able to make calls and stuff, and now randomly I can't. I can still FaceTime and do Google Meet, so I can still contact my people, but my calls don't work. So I had to get a text now number to be able to call Expedia to cancel and rebook all my flights, you know what I'm saying, do all those flight changes. So guys, but I'm here, I'm blessed. It's my first day here. The only thing is, it's raining. Like, it's raining my entire trip here. I'm still gonna make the best of it. I may not be able to go and get my inventory and everything, but I can still go out and create those relationships with manufacturers and do everything that I need to do for Akoya. If you guys have any questions about traveling, going to China, or any clarifying questions about my trip, drop a comment down below and I will respond. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if this was helpful for you, if it was entertaining for you. Only if you like it, you feel like I earned it, go ahead and drop that like and subscribe. This is part 1 of Bri Takes China in Japan now, because I'm gonna have an extra day in Osaka, and I'm gonna have 8 hours in Tokyo. So I'm gonna have 8 hours in Beijing. So I may go visit the Great Wall. Who knows, guys? The possibilities are endless. I'm gonna make the most of this trip regardless of it, because one thing about me, if I pay my good coin to go somewhere, I'm gonna have a good time, okay? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn those notifications so you can keep up with this entire journey while I'm out here in Japan and China. Until next time, pursue attainable visions, because every vision that you have is attainable. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.